I'm so white. Ah, I'm back because I didn't review last week on account of I had finals and I was busy trying to graduate from college. So that happened. So I did read the chapter, but I didn't get a chance to review it. I don't think I'm gonna review it now. I'm just gonna sort of go over like what happened, I guess. We got information on where Makarov is and how he decided to sacrifice himself to save the guild, essentially, by trying to go over and negotiate with Alvarez. And Erza go down with Mess because apparently the master told Mess about what he should do when he leaves if they ever try to revive Fairy Tail again. And so I guess he told Mest about Lumen Story, and then he was going to show Erza because she's the 7th master. And then so he goes to show Erza, and then Natsu and Wendy and Lucy and Happy all follow him, and Erza and Gray. And Gray goes too. And then they're like, they don't even care, like they're just kind of like, oh, whatever. That can't be helped, I guess. So they're sneaking around going there, and then I guess there's no value of privacy ever in Fairy Tail anymore. Or secrecy or whatever, since the actual master's gone or whatever. So then we have in 440, we get a lot of information, just like the last chapter, more about where the master went, and then they all are like, oh, okay, so he decided to sacrifice himself to protect the guild, essentially, and then they decide that they want to go on a rescue mission to save him, and that's what Mess was initially planning all along. And then Erza, being Erza, is just like, no, we can't just like rush in there. We have to think about rebuilding Fairy Tail, and we want to make everyone the way it was before, and Fairy Tail the way it was before, and they want everyone to start going missions and all this stuff. And then she's like, but I make that decision as a master, but as a guild member, we're gonna go save the master. We're gonna go on a secret mission. It's gonna be like Mission Impossible, which it essentially is, with like, there's only gonna be like 7 of them. Not even. Natsu, Luce, 6. It was close, 6. And but and then we figure out the whole time Gajeel was listening, and then he's like, with his super hearing, forgot he had that, you know, because that could have came in handy like any other time. Like, where was that? So Gajeel says that he's going to reform B-Team, and he goes up to like Juvia and Mira and all of them. And then before that, Juvia has this little thing about imagining what Gray's doing with Lucy, because Mira's like, oh, Gray went off with Lucy and Natsu, and then she's like, Lucy was there, so I don't know, she's still, I don't know, she still has that love rival thing going on with Lucy, even though I think it's pretty obvious that Juvia and Gray are like a thing, or are gonna be a thing. There's a dog. So then she imagines like what they're doing together, and then obviously that's not what's happening. So Gajeel, I thought that at first he was gonna be like, oh, we're gonna go and help them as well, and then that's initially what he's gonna be doing. But first, he's gonna go find Laxus. So I guess we're gonna find out what he's been up to, and I guess he also like, I think one of them, like Connor or someone, was like, oh, they're like, you know where Laxus has been? Like, you've seen, like, how do you know this information? I guess since he was from the Magic Council, maybe he also kept tabs on everyone. Then after that, he's like, oh, we're gonna go find the whitey bastard. Obviously Laxus. And then it cuts to the Magic Council, and Levy's there giving them the official documentation that Fairy Tail is a guild again, an official guild. And they say like, oh, like Ayers is the master. Okay, cool. She's talking to like Warard. Oh my god, that's a fucking hard name to say. Warid. Let's just call him that. The tree dude. This show is just like not serious. Like, I just love the humor. Like, no, everyone's so carefree like all the time. He's like, he's like overwatering the plants that he's watering, and then Levy's like, oh, the water, it's going over. And then he's like, oh, this isn't water. This is my urine. How does he even urine? He's a tree. I'm not even gonna go into that. So then this other guy comes up, and he's one of the 10 Wizard Saints, and apparently one of the 4 Heavenly Kings of Ishgard. His name is Wolfheim, and he comes, and he's like, oi. He says oi 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 a lot. Fucking these little Japanese quirks that people, it's like, reminds me so much of One Piece. Like everyone has their little like things that they say. And he comes and he's like, you should really stop being so carefree and like all this stuff, and this is a serious thing. And then he turns into this beast. He turns into like, it reminds me of Elfman. He has like the same sort of power that Elfman I think has, except he turns like ginormous and he like towers over Ward and he's just like whatever. And then Levi and Jura are over here like freaking the fuck out because this one of the Heavenly Kings of Ishgard just so happened to like just roll up, and then he's like transforming into this giant beast thing, and they're like, calm down, please calm down. Like, and then right after that another one comes, and his name is Hyperion, and he looks kind of he's like some Dracula vampire dude or something. And he's like, you should calm down because we need to set an example for, you know, the 10 Wizard Saints and like all that stuff. And he just like rolls up and he's just like drinking this glass of wine like, this is a perfect time to get drunk right now. Party! And then Levi mentions the title of the chapter, which is God Serena, which is apparently I thought it was gonna be a girl because Serena seems like a girl's name. It's apparently a dude. And they have God Serena, which is apparently one of the strongest mages ever in Magnolia, in the continent, in their continent, Ishgard? I don't know. Yeah, so he was God Serena was the most powerful, mage on the continent. That's what Hyperion says. But he said that he was one of the 10 Wizard Saints, and then he goes on to say that he decided to quit being a mage that fought for them. He decided to go on the other side. God Serena has crossed to the western continent, Akatishu Aria, whatever the fuck that is. I can't pronounce it. Arakitashia. That's how you probably say it in Japanese. I don't fucking know. He said that he became a member of the Empire and then he abandoned their land. So, and they're freaking out, and they freak out because he's now one of them, so he's not on their side, so they have to fight. they have to fight without him. He did go to a different continent, he's on their side instead. So they obviously don't have him, but I'm trying to think, I don't think that means that he's with the enemy, but they say that at the end that there are 11 other people in Alvarez that can stand toe-to-toe with the continent's strongest mage. Which is pretty insane. I mean, we don't really know much about this person, or the rest of them, or the rest of the 12, whatever it is. The Spriggan 12. So he did cross over to Alvarez and decided to be on their side instead of where like Fairy Tail is in their continent. Which is insane. And apparently there's 12 more of them that are like strong as fuck. So that means that Fairy Tail's gonna have time beating those people. So I guess we're gonna jump into this arc next, which is going to be the Saving the Master arc. Well, I mean, they're gonna have they're gonna have Makarov, probably, hopefully. I don't think he's dead, hopefully not. And they're gonna have him fighting along against him, and then they're gonna get Laxus. Let's see, we'll have to see what Laxus and the Raijenshu have been doing the past year, if they've been training, or how strong they've gotten. Obviously, Natsu and like Gray have gotten pretty strong, and Erza the last year, so Lucy as well for a year. Like, it's only been a year, like, Jesus. I mean, you'd think that the rest of Fairy Tail would have gotten like hella strong in that time, because they had 7 years. Yet their like fighting level seems to be like the exact same as it always has been. I mean, we know that the main characters of the Fairy Tail Guild, at least, are like monsters. We know that, but I mean, you'd think that everyone else would have still like gotten stronger. But then again, you know, the guild was pretty much lost and they were all depressed, so I guess they didn't really want to fight anymore. They just decided to live their own lives. So yeah, that's gonna be upcoming is we're gonna find out more about these 12 enemies, and I'm sure each of them are going to be assigned one of the Fairy Tail guild members, like it usually is. This guy, I feel like, I'm hoping Gildarts is gonna come back, maybe, and maybe he'll fight up against Gildarts. I feel like Gildarts, if Gildarts isn't in the running to be, like, the strongest mage, then, like, then who the fuck is this guy? Like, then again, if they, I mean, I hope they bring Gildarts in. He hasn't been in, like, a giant fight in, like, God knows how long, since, like, God, when was he? When was he in the last fight? Like, he was there for the 7-year thing, and then I think he left. Because he was there in, for the S-Class, competition, but I think he was gone ever since then. And then he never really... No, I think he did come back. It's been a long time. This is a long manga. It's hard to keep up with everything. But anyways, I hope Gildarts gets in there. But I feel like Mashima never involves Gildarts because it's usually like, oh, that fight's over if Gildarts comes. But I mean, the Master's probably gonna be there. I mean, who knows? He might be like injured. He might be being held captive, and they might have to go rescue him. But overall, this chapter was pretty good in terms of information-wise with all this stuff, but it's, you know, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. It's still, like, nothing's really happening. This is just sort of information pool things happening. And they're starting a new arc, all this stuff, so I guess we'll find out more about what they're going to do next. So I will see you next week again. Sorry about being late and also being gone last week, but shit happens. Okay, bye.